Hey, Mike. What? Who's got next?
What's good, y'all? It's your man Hezo, and welcome back to the Blacktop, where I always got next, you feel me? So we are back at it with another Hawks recap, and that was an ugly ass win, man. I ain't gonna lie. A very ugly win, but it was off of a back-to-back, so it is what it is. A win is a win at the end of the day. Be sure to subscribe to the channel if you are new. Leave a like on the video. We are on our way to 800 subs, and that 1,000 mark is getting closer and closer for us, man. I would really like to get there by the end of the year, so y'all help your boy out. Hit that sub button. Let's keep this momentum going, and let's get right into it. So let's talk some hoops, man. Atlanta debuting those Peachtree City jerseys, which I ain't too mad at those. Those ain't too bad. I like the Atlanta City jerseys last year a lot better, but we ain't talking about the jerseys, man. So first half starts out. Trey gets going a little bit early. He played a lot more aggressively. I like the shots he was taking early on. He was getting to the free throw line. He shot 9 free throws in the first quarter alone. He really looked good early on, but the Sixers were being a lot more physical. They were being way more physical than Atlanta. They were getting the ball into the post. They were feeding Tobias in the post. They were feeding Embiid at the post, and Embiid was doing a good job of getting to the line. But in reality, he was really their only source of offense. Nate switched up the rotation a little bit. I mean, he brought Trey out early as opposed to DeJounte. Not really sure if it made much of a difference in the game. I didn't really see much of a difference. I mean, they were still struggling offensively. Really, both teams were struggling offensively. Once Embiid came out of the game, Philly really struggled to find offense with their bench unit, and Atlanta went on a run. I think we went up as much as 10, 11 points or so. And then the second quarter, Philly answered that run. You know, Embiid got back into the game. Philly answered the run, and Atlanta really struggled in the second quarter offensively, trying to get shots. And really, for the totality of the game, nobody really had a great game for the Hawks. And it was kind of likewise for the Sixers. I mean, Embiid had a pretty solid game other than his turnovers. He had like 7 turnovers overall in the game, but very sloppy, not much offense in the first half for either team. Atlanta led 4 going into the third quarter. Second half rolls around, and Atlanta is still struggling offensively. I thought they would have maybe made some, adjustments after the first half. They couldn't get their shots to fall. I mean, I think they shot under 40% for the entire game, which is pretty bad. But I mean, again, it is off a back-to-back, so it could be a lot worse. And again, it did result in a W in the end. I'm gonna talk a little bit about that a little bit later in the video. And B picked up his 4th foul late. I think late in the third quarter or midway through the third quarter, early in the third. I can't remember what it was. And B picked up his 3rd foul, and that really was a hindrance. Hindrance, is that even a word? I don't know. It really hindered Philly's offense because they struggled to find offense other than Embiid. Tyrese Maxey still could not get going. He struggled the entire night. Tobias struggled really the entire night. And then Dre started to pick it up a little bit. He hit a couple back-to-back shots, but then around the 4-minute mark late in the third quarter, he got called for that soft-ass flagrant, man. I thought that was so soft of a call because we've seen guys numerous times coming off ball, and they push off to create space. And we've seen it. Yeah, it's a foul. I get it. I'm not debating that wasn't a foul because he did push off, but not a flagrant, man. Come on, bro. A flagrant for a light push off to Niang, who really sold it and went to the ground. Like, come on, bro. That was a soft-ass call. But then Dre came back down the other end after that and hit the jump shot. So Dre really got going in the third quarter. At the start of the fourth quarter, Philly hit 2 quick threes to kind of climb back into the game. I think the lead got up to 14 by the end of the third quarter for Atlanta, which they were in cruise control at that point. But then Philly hits those 2 quick threes. But then right after that, man, Atlanta was just creating turnovers, getting into transition. They hit those 2 threes in transition. Justin Holiday hit 1 and AJ Griffin hit 1. And let me just say, man, I love AJ Griffin's game. I think he's going to be such a stud. I can't wait for him to really continue to get rotation minutes once Nate starts to trust him more. I felt like he didn't get enough playing time, but he got some solid minutes overall tonight. I could be too mad at that. Atlanta got out in transition, man. They were forcing turnovers, and Philly just looked dead in the water. They went down by as much as 20, and it looked like Doc was going to pull the, kind of wave the white flag, pull the plug. And here's the thing I want to kind of mention real quick that was very, very disappointing, and that was around the 5-minute mark. Doc decided to pull the plug. They were down 17, but then their bench came in. The bottom of the bench for Philly came in, Montrezl Harrell, and just really got them back into the game. They were down 11 with 4 minutes left, and Doc left the starters on the bench, which I thought was very questionable. But I mean, I guess ride with the unit that's producing. Atlanta, man, you almost let this game slip away. I mean, it got down to a 6-point game after being up 17 with 5 minutes, after being up 20 with about 7 minutes left. So very, very poor closeout to the game, and Atlanta has to do a better job with that. I've mentioned that several times in the past. They've almost let a lot of well, not a lot, but a few of these games slip out of their hands just because of poor execution down the stretch of the game. Obviously, that did not happen. We got out with the win, but again, it was just a very, very ugly win. So not a super long recap. I mean, there wasn't a lot to take away from this game, but I do want to get into my final takeaways for the game. And number one was Clint Capella, man. He has been awesome these last couple games, and he was awesome again tonight. He had almost another 20-20 game. I think he finished with 18 and 19 or something like that, and he did a pretty decent job on, on Embiid, who has historically killed the Hawks. I mean, 30-point games, 40-point games. Capella, shout out to him. He played an excellent game defensively on the glass. Excellent game overall for Capella, and he's really starting to look like the old Capella that he looked like in the Eastern Conference Finals run, really starting to get back into form, which is great to see for this Hawks team. Number two is Trey, man, and I feel like a broken record at this point, and Trey is he is still struggling offensively. He had a good first quarter, really good first quarter, but after that, man, it was just like, Trey, where are you, bro? Like, where are you? He's missing layups. He's missing open threes. Trey he looks bad, man. I mean, like, I don't know if I'm overreacting. Y'all let me know if I'm overreacting. And I'm not saying I don't think Trey is going to turn around. But at what point are we going to stop saying Trey's going to turn it around? Because we're now 14 games into or are we 14? No, we're 12 games into the season. We've played 12 games now, sitting at 8-4, and Trey is still struggling offensively. It seems like he has one really good quarter, and then he just goes completely flat and is just missing floaters. He's missing layups. He had a handful of bad turnovers tonight, which was I hated to see it, but Trey hasn't looked good, man, and I'm starting to get worried. I'm not gonna lie, because he is not looking like a top 5 point guard in the NBA right now. Now, granted, Atlanta's still winning games. We're still sitting at 8-3, even with him struggling. So on the bright side, hopefully, I'm trying to remain optimistic that once he does get going, once his shot does start to fall more consistently, that Atlanta really, really is going to be a dangerous team, especially when we get Bogey back coming off the bench. Trey's got to be better overall, man. I mean, Trey has got to be better. I said it in almost every single video, because he just hasn't had many great games this season. Yeah, he's had a 40-point game, but his efficiency is just not there. It is just not there. I think he shot again 7 for 20 tonight, 2 for 8 from 3, or 2 for 7 from 3, and that's just not good, man. Not good. And now again, it is off a back-to-back. He did miss the Milwaukee game. But even still, man, this has been Trey the whole season. He's not played well. Everybody struggled offensively tonight, realistically. DeJounte didn't really play a great game offensively. JC didn't play a great game offensively. Dre looked okay. He had his moments. He was really getting to his mid-range, and Dre probably looked the best offensively out of everybody tonight. But again, I'm going to remain optimistic. We are still 8-4, even with Trey playing the way he's playing. Now, real quick, before I get into my next point, I will say Trey's doing a great job of playmaking. He's still doing his alleys and everything, but I still think that he needs to get JC a little bit more involved. It seems like DeJounte is the only one that really looks for JC in the post whenever he gets a post up, and DeJounte looks for him. Trey doesn't really do that as much, but again, I'm not going to overreact. I don't want to go too long on about Trey. So number 3 was the defense. Atlanta did a way better job tonight defensively, especially playing without fouling. Embiid didn't live at the free throw line. I think he only attempted 8 or 9 free throws, which is a dub. It's a dub if you're the Hawks, because he has lived at the free throw line. He shot 16 free throws in his last game when he put up 33 and shot 16 for 16 from the free throw line. Great job of playing without fouling. Guys really stepped up defensively, especially in that fourth quarter when they went on that huge run to go up by 20. Justin Holiday played solid defensively. DeJounte played solid defensively. Aaron Holiday played solid defensively for the minutes that he was playing on Tyrese Maxey. Okongwu and Clint Capella both played excellent defensively, especially crashing the glass, which leads me to my next point, the rebounding. The rebounding was incredible tonight, especially Clint and Okongwu. I think they combined for like 30 rebounds or so, which is a very, very good sign, limiting the Philly's second chance opportunities and creating second chance opportunities for Atlanta to get going offensively. offensively. Now, obviously, again, Atlanta struggled overall offensively tonight, but so did Philly. And that's the one thing I kind of want to point out before, I get out of here. Tyrese Maxey played bad. He did not have a good night. I don't really look for that to replicate in the game for the game on Saturday. So hopefully some guys turn it around. Trey's got to be better. I've already talked about it. I'm actually tired of talking about it, but it's just I have to because he's our best player, and I got to call these things out and hold him accountable because that's what I'm doing as a realistic fan. I'm gonna pretty much leave it there, man. That is pretty much all I have for this recap. Not a very long recap because there wasn't a ton to take away from this game. Again, we still got out, out with the win, but we do have, again, a tough schedule coming up. We play Philly again on Saturday, and I look for them to bounce back, especially offensively, especially Tyrese Maxey. I don't look for him to have a performance like that again. We got Milwaukee on Monday. We got Toronto next Saturday, which I'm gonna be at that game. I cannot wait. I'm gonna be at the Toronto game next Saturday. So if y'all Hawks fans, if y'all are at the game, look for me, man. I will be there. Let me know y'all's thoughts down in the comments. What did y'all think about this game overall? What did you think about everybody's performance? Like I always say, what do you think about our upcoming schedule? Leave a like on the video, and I will catch y'all next episode.